This month, I'll let the energy help me to prioritize my projects and goals so that I don't have to work so damn hard to figure it all out. Welcome to Moonlit Magic. We're going to unlock each of the major moon phases as we move through this. So you're going to want to watch this all at once to make sense of the upcoming month, and then meet me back here every week to freshen up the energy and remind ourselves what our intentions for this month are all about. This breaks down into 4 installments. Pull out your own cards and play along with us. We'll take a moment. If you have an intention for the month, let's pause if we need to and set it now. Welcome to the new moon, and our self-care theme is shine. What I'm really feeling drawn to this moon phase is healing of the creative centers in my body. That's where I'm feeling stagnant energy, feeling things blocked, and setting an intention to unlock those things to move further creatively, with a certain confidence and passion that I've not been able to have in my own work or whatever it is. So if you're feeling that, then I welcome you into this energy. Let's see how it unfolds for this coming moon phase. Kali, oh man, this is my favorite. Honestly, I think this might be the very first oracle card I ever pulled. And so this has special meaning to me. Mother of the universe. This is mother of all life and all death, creation. It's like that infinity, or the yin yang, where it's always creating and destroying, and new things come from that old energy. Nothing is permanently gone. It just changes into something new. So this says, I release all that doesn't serve me. It's time to be the truth of who I am. Exactly, I think in line with this new moon energy, because what we're moving into is there's some sort of, if we're not feeling like confident, open, courageous, and knowing exactly where we're going, there's something blocking that creative center. So we're just here to unlock it. That's what we're doing. We're focusing on unlocking it. And how do we do that? Is with our hands in our body, creatively making that space for ourselves so that we can be clear on what the next intuitively satisfying choice is. No matter whether that's turns out to be a mistake or the opportunity of a lifetime, that's for us to decide, and we have to be able to trust our own intuition to understand what those things are for ourselves before we can ever help anyone really understand what their path is. We can never know anyone better than they know themselves, and we have to all be able to trust ourselves in that way. So now we're going to move into our next focus for this moon phase, the new moon, and it's ascension flame, liberation, a sense of greater purpose, high expectations. Isn't that so interesting? Ascension flame. This is a fire moon, and like I said, I'm really being pulled to focus on unlocking this next level of creative energy in my body. That is passion, that is fire, and all of those things align together. And we have to be aware of what is making us feel stagnant or heavy or suffocated or caged in before we can liberate ourselves from that. It's such a unique experience. We can't hop into anybody else's reality. We have to be functioning from our own perspective all the time. And sometimes we are stuck. And the thing is we just have to acknowledge it. That's it. It's just... You can trust your body when your body doesn't feel free-flowing, when there's something like a depressive energy, there is something stuck that you need to focus on for you. So this new moon phase is all about releasing what does not serve us confidently cutting that away, burning it away, and letting it go, so we can move to the next level, and realizing that whatever stagnancy right now is happening, as soon as that clears, it's going to bring us to a whole new place. But we have to move through that. We have to burn it away and trust ourselves. You can only lift others above fear with creativity, love, and light, and a lightness of being. Honestly, seriously, this must be a good one, because I'm feeling pretty on point for where we're starting this month out. Like, holy shit, that's whew. All right, we're starting good. At least my intuition feels like it's on fire. How about you? Are you feeling this? I feel like it's all just unfolding exactly as it's supposed to be. And when you are doing something like this for yourself, whether you're sitting at home and you have your own ritual, or you're just starting that out, you're maybe taking your little objects or things that are important to you and starting to set an intention for yourself. That is whatever it is for you, make that sacred. And if you don't know where to start, here you are. Start here with me. Watch me, listen, write, play along, do whatever you need to do to find a sense of resonance and peace, a sense of clarity for yourself as this month moves forward. When you start to do that every month with the unique energy of the moment, you will start to feel your body, the energy in your body shift, and you become more finely attuned and aware of when you need to shift. That is a super important piece of this. We always go through these phases where we feel liberated and stuck. We're going to feel like we're in a rut. We're going to feel depressed. We're going to feel anxious. We're going to feel things when things are holding us back or weighing on us. And we need to learn to trust that for ourselves before we can ever help anybody else. All right, now we are going to focus on our satisfying choices for this upcoming month, or this upcoming moon phase: consciousness, self-awareness, personal realizations, and prejudice. Paying attention to what is going on inside of us, and how does that mirror into what we're judging outside of us. That is going to be really important. I've personally been noticing even a sense of, I don't know if this is the right word, but there's bitterness. You know, when you're starting to feel critical of other people, or you can't quite feel as excited, you know, for others as you want to. It's like, you know what you want to feel, but there's something kind of in the way. You know, there's something going on within you, and it's not really about anybody but you. It's just sitting with that. What is it deep down inside that needs to be released, so we can let go of like this pettiness, you know, whatever that is. There's a sense of, I think social media especially really can fire us up with all these different extreme perspectives and get us doubting ourselves on an intuitive level. And I think if we don't take a little bit of a break from that, it can build something inside of us where we're comparing ourselves to things that are not real. And we have to realize that we are real. Each one of us is a whole entire person. Find the untamed wild colors in the garden of your heart. What are those spaces where you need to focus? It's taking the creative energy and focusing it into something different. Music, dance, anything that we do with our body in a purely present place, get really, really, really physical. You know, a lot of times in these rituals, we want to leave this almost. We want to go into the spirit and go beyond. And that is such a beautiful experience, but it's really difficult to be here on this earth with how dense it is and how difficult everything feels when we're not experiencing the present of the moment. And sometimes there are like depressive energies in the way of that, in the way of us sitting peacefully within our bodies. We get afraid of being our full selves, what we might find or feel deep down within us. And that is hindering us. It's crippling everything emotional, spiritual, the things that we want to unlock. We need to be able to be in presence with our body, in presence with a moment, without fear, pure radical presence with our hands, movement, feel the discomfort of it all. To feel the satisfaction, we have to feel it all, or else we feel nothing. Lessons of self-awareness. Crystal Kingdom, slowing down materialism and physical debris. Again, we're talking about releasing things that do not serve us. What is it for you that's weighing you down? What is it that you're focused on attaining? I'm sorry, it doesn't say physical debris. Did I say psychic? Psychic debris. That makes more sense. What are we hanging on to? There's stuff in the way. It's not the real stuff. It's not the stuff we want or the stuff that matters. It's in the way of what we really want. And it's not that we can't have the things. We can strive, we can get there, we can make goals. But is it going to feel as satisfying as we truly want it to if we are coming into it from a place of dissatisfaction, where we really can never be fully satisfied with any achievement? You climb to the top of the mountain, the only place to go from there is to jump back off. So your creativity will only be useful when your mind is neutral and dutiful. Meditate every day. That's what we're talking about, meditate, but I want to take the meditative experience and bring it back into our body. Don't try to be escaping yourself all the time. It's when you're in physical exercise, but you enjoy the way that your body moves and you're not trying to just get through it, escape it, push through, get to the end. What that feels like inside of you, to feel the energy moving. If you've ever felt that, which you probably have in some state of bliss, pure presence, or taking a bite of food or a drink of something, there are things that can bring you to this just sense of bliss for just a pure moment. And if you can do that for another moment and another moment and another moment, and stretch the 1 second to 2 and the 2 seconds to 4, and you keep building on that, the more time you spend physically present, the more you can enjoy and really appreciate the bliss of there being nothing. There being nothing between you and all there is. You are one with it. You can be so present with your body. You get so present with your body that you release what is in the way of you and your spirit. Okay? We all get stuck there, and I'm done rambling about it. Now, advice and resources. Golden light ray, love and laughter, receiving and giving gifts, passionate projects. Goddamn, I called it. And love and laughter. That is really the way. Love, it's hard to, if you're not feeling very loved or loving, it can be harder. But laughter is one of those things that we can really pull out, that can just shift a room quick. It shifts things quickly, even when it's inappropriate. Don't let people tell you what appropriate emotions are. Start to mix it all together. Okay, it's not all sad and it's not all happy. It's all mixed together. Appreciate that. Okay, and then focus when you are sad or angry or whatever and feeling uncomfortable emotions. Sit in a creative space with those things and experience that pure presence there and feel yourself shift in the passionate projects. Let your creativity take you between nothing and everything. Your heart knows the way. So perfect. Action steps. Celestial channel, hidden beauty, remaining optimistic, staying neutral, okay? Hidden beauty of the present moment. Start where you can appreciate life. start where that is easy for you. There has to be some place, somebody, somewhere where you feel with relief, peace. If you don't know what satisfaction feels like, if you don't know what joy feels like, who knows? How do you know until you know? Sometimes you think happy is happy until you get happy. And you're like, oh shit, I've never felt happy before. You don't really know until you know. And as you go deeper, you expand yourself to the possibility of vaster satisfaction, ecstasy, okay? Enchantment. We're talking about like forms of joy and bliss that are rare on this earth, because you have to be able to tune into yourself and then also tune into all that is. That's hard when you're numb. You can't do that when you're numb. You can only get glimpses of it. So remember that it's there. Don't forget that when things feel really, really difficult, meditating is just getting back into your body. Just being in your body, sitting through the discomfort, being with yourself, and remembering that there's nothing to be afraid of inside of you. Stay with it, okay? And you'll feel yourself almost neutralize to certain things over time. Boundaries, they're really harsh when we have to first place them. They're very uncomfortable, but eventually we get more comfortable with those things, or we shift a little bit in how we communicate our boundaries. It all changes. When you become neutral and clear, other things start to make more sense. And I get stuck in this all the time. So this is normal. But to realize when you're in it, and then to not avoid, if you can't let go of it, if it's lingering, you have to look at it. You dwell in your mind day and night. Shape it with purity, love, and gratitude. So as we are sitting with our minds, remember that our minds are just trying to protect us, but sometimes they mess with us. They really do. Our minds get bored, and we have to recognize what's real and what's not. All right, here is the last message for this new moon phase. What ties it all together with our self-care theme, Shine. I hope you enjoyed these messages for this week. This is the message about releasing what's not serving us so that we can step up and move further, understanding that as we're feeling stagnant or stuck or whatever it is, heavy, looking at that ugly spirit, that ugliness that we're afraid to look at, there's a shame there that we try to push aside instead of looking at why we feel certain things. Don't avoid it. There's nothing wrong with you. It's okay. People all feel this way. And I think by acknowledging that with truth, that's going to help us move to a new level. So what ties it all together? The universal Merkaba, a sacred purpose. You have the answer. Lucid dreaming. Pay attention to your dreams. Lucid dreaming, I would say we often think of lucid dreaming, we're in this dream state and we are aware that we're awake, or that we're aware that we can manipulate and change reality within that dream state. I say lucid dreaming, be in the present and be aware that you are fully present, okay? Be lucid in the dream state of presence, of pure appreciation, and feel that in your body. It's different. It's a whole different way of accessing your spirit, and you don't have, I want to say you don't have to try so hard, but it's very uncomfortable. You have to move through the discomfort before you can feel that the bliss of it activate inside of you. You're a living work of art. You're always becoming your true self. You have the answer, and it is a sacred purpose. You have to unlock it from within your own spirit, your own gut. Allow it to come forward and trust that you know exactly what you're doing. Thank you so much for being here. I'll see you next week for the first quarter moon and a brand new self-care theme. Welcome to the first quarter moon, and our self-care theme is release your blocks. How do we do that? Last week for the new moon, we were talking about how this was coming from our creative center. So there's a passionate creativity that's involved in how we're doing this, trusting that part of ourselves. It's intuition, it's confidence, it's courage, it's passion, it's really understanding what those things feel like because we choose to feel all the things, okay? And the way that we're channeling feelings that we don't necessarily feel comfortable with is through being present, really, really present with our bodies and in the moment. Easier ways to like start to channel that and just, I guess, more fun and joyful ways is just make space for the creative things that you like, or the activities that you like, the things that make you feel good, again, in your body. You want to be there for those moments, those relationships, experiences. And now we're taking that to the next level, really releasing the blocks to move to that next level. So the goddess of compassion and the saint of authenticity. I recognize suffering in order to release it. Curiosity breeds compassion. We spoke really lightly at the end, maybe it wasn't lightly, I don't know, at the end of the last self-care phase about feeling everything, right? And releasing things, releasing what doesn't serve us. We have to look at it. So be curious about it instead of afraid to look at it. Because that fear of what's inside of us it creates shame. And shame is absolutely not where we want to live. So looking at those things within ourselves and our perceptions of ourselves is their psychic debris. And trusting that we know the answer intuitively to the issues that we're facing, that is what softens our experience towards other people. And so we're not feeling so harsh. That's when we start to feel more neutral. So again, how to do that? I am my authentic self in all circumstances. Not trying to be something to please someone else anymore. That's where we have to realize what beliefs feel right to us by exploring them all. And when we are afraid to explore beliefs, our beliefs, our mission is not to fix anybody else. Maybe we have something that we want to say, but it's not up to us who listens, who channels that energy, who receives it, who understands it, who feels it. It's just up to us to put it out there creatively, speak it, communicate it, do whatever we need to do with that message and that energy. That's what we're doing. So as we focus this, we have to remember to, as each relationship shifts, starts to feel different, how are we changing and what's true to us? What can we live with? But when something feels wrong, it is. And there's reasons to examine that. It's always different. Okay? There's so many reasons why things feel wrong. We have to examine why that is so we can enjoy things again, whether it's those same things or not. All right. A big, bold vision. This is our intention and focus. Live to honor a legacy of love and propel yourself with your infinity. Be the star of your life. So this is what we're moving out of the way in order to honor the theme of what we were feeling for the new moon. That it's really the intention we're setting for the month is shine. What we're doing now is releasing what was in the way. Last week we sort of got clarity on that. And now we're identifying what we can do with the intention and focus as we're clearing those things around us that don't quite fit what we are working on. So here's our satisfying choices. After the storm, remember that suffering and that discomfort? We know we're gonna feel something uncomfortable because we're burning away things to release, okay? Debris. That's what we have to do. So we know there's a storm. We know there's discomfort. We know things are gonna be shaken up. And just recognizing that all we need to do in that moment is sit with ourselves in this pure present, like the appreciation of what is life at its core. Because it's not the things, and honestly, it's not the people. It's how you feel in each of those circumstances. It's not that specific person. It's understanding and deepening what love is, opening yourself up to that. Because if we are clinging on to toxic ideas of love, then we will never truly understand what love feels like. We block ourselves from that. We don't give ourselves the chance by freeing ourselves from the shame that we've internalized to make us think that was love, so we can expand and experience something more full. Be prepared for more learning, understanding, opportunities, and love. Exactly. The after the storm, we're sitting with whatever is going on in there. There's something brewing, something's being shaken up, tossed around. Things are changing. They're going to feel uncomfortable, and we just are recognizing that and understanding that we started this with that intention and focus, that we knew things were going to be uncomfortable. We knew that we had to clear some stuff, and we had to look at some maybe things that were deep down, or things that were shameful, things that are heavy, dark, ugly, that we've been avoiding for a while in order to do that. So that's where we're focused. That's all we can do. And it's okay to feel uncomfortable. If anyone tells you that you're not supposed to feel those ugly feelings, then they're lying to you. Lessons of self-awareness. And let me clarify for a moment. They're lying to you from their own fear or their own sense of control. They don't want to lose the version of you that they understand and they know how to, I don't hate to say manipulate, but manipulate. Because that's what we do. And when we start to realize that relationships should feel different, the people who are benefiting from those relationships where we didn't have boundaries or we didn't speak up for ourselves are the ones who are going to try to make us doubt ourselves in all kinds of ways, all kinds of ways. And you will doubt yourself. You will, absolutely, 1,000 times over, until you recognize the suffering, okay? Be curious about the suffering. When you feel suffering, be curious about it. When you feel it in your body, go into it. Don't run away. Don't numb it. All right, lessons of self-awareness. Heaven sent. As you must serve everything you create, it's a good idea to do so with love and integrity. I think it's just important that we don't rush. Don't rush, because we're not always ready for what we want. We may have a really clear idea what we want and not be able to receive it. We can't touch it. And even if we do touch it, we're going to lose it, because there's something inside of us that's blocking, right, us from this next level. So those relationships and opportunities and meetings, as we numb and push our healing away by pushing our shame down and covering it up and not letting anyone see it, not letting ourselves see it, not having something, some outlet, some ritual, some sacred space, creative channel, okay? It's different. Don't assume it has to be one way. There's so many ways, okay? You have to find your way. Through it. To release it, to move to the next level, is to acknowledge it. Don't hide from it, because there's nothing wrong with you. You have been shaped by your experiences. You've been shaped by so so many, infinite experiences, infinite people have told you things you've clung on to in your spirit that you have no idea that they have shaped 1,000 billion, why are you saying 1,000? They've shaped so many decisions and you don't even realize it. I don't even realize it. We don't realize it because we're functioning from a really weird place that someone literally said something to us that one time that we just hung on to as reality when it was never. And we have to go in and find those weird little seedlings that created these horrible, just infestations of like these, think of it like a plant that's not native, okay, to the area and what it can do to that ecosystem. It literally just it's someone else's, weed. And those can be great. There's lots of nice weed. But it's somebody else's like habitat and they're overtaking yours. Just in your psyche. We're talking psychic debris, things that we must let go of, things that are rooted from our foundation. We have to go in and find them. There's nothing wrong with you, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with examining your beliefs. When you come out the other side, whatever you believe, you will at least believe it in your gut, okay? And that's really important because if you don't believe what you say you believe, man, it really doesn't take long till you compartmentalize a whole different life and a whole different self just to convince yourself you're not miserable. All right. Anyway, oh my goodness. Advice and resources. Spirals of manifestation. Continue to make love real through all you create. You have the Midas touch. Golden light ray. Okay. It's this purity of spirit. And what did we say last phase was blocking us was like there's a bitterness or a pettiness. It's a rot. Okay. That's that weed. That's that it's not that there's anything wrong with maybe that other plant, that other thing that's growing, but it's not meant to grow in your space, right? In your head. You're meant to grow and plant your own garden there. That's what you have to think about. So it can be great. Like you're born into this thing and again, I know I'm like going really far with this garden thing, but like you're tending this garden of your mind that your parents have planted there, or caregivers or whatever. But that's not always done with complete understanding of what it's doing, because a lot of caregivers, even with the best of intentions, don't understand that they're planting, they're kind of taking their wants and needs and desires for you and putting them on top of you. Instead of letting you blossom into who you're meant to be. So it's just really, really important to know yourself thoroughly. And we don't really get to do that because as kids, unless we're encouraged to as kids, because as kids, we are really just living through the perspective that we're granted. We're told what life is like, or we're shown what life is like, and that's what we believe. Okay, it's not the same for everybody. And that's so important to realize, is like, just diversify your fucking friends. Okay, listen to people. Don't immediately assume that someone's attacking you because they're telling a story that somehow makes you feel bad. Acknowledge your own shame so you can live a full fucking life. Okay, stop hiding. It's not doing you any good. I promise it's not. It's turning you into what you've hated. Okay? It really is. It turns you into the monster that you were fighting all along. You have to acknowledge your own shame so you can move through it. You can see other people for what they are and who they are, and really understand who you are at a spirit and a gut level. All right, action steps. A legacy of light. Understanding that this is passed through the lineage. The toxicity is passed through the lineage, the light, the healing, the openness, the intuition, that all of this understanding. And I'm not saying any lineage is pure, because it's not. Nobody's is, okay? But recognizing where we are, looking at, like, don't deny your family what they've done. Good, bad, ugly. There's a lot of all of those in all of our families. Don't deny it for your own shame or to protect someone else. People have made choices that they are responsible for. Understand that when you heal, It comes from your spirit, your gut, and your healing mirrors on. Your healing is going to expand through your lineage because you choose to acknowledge your own shame and be honest with yourself. If you need to repair something, use gold and be creative. See value in the mending. Mending a whole new earth, essentially. We're creating something brand new. We're becoming those grandparents, the ancestors, the ancient ones with the wisdom, with that healing wisdom. That's what we should be aiming to become. Not living for, yes, we are living now so we can appreciate the experience and pass that natural wisdom on from experience. Okay, this is the legacy. This is the legacy of light. We are moving the toxicity that's because it's so mixed. Every one of our families is this mixed energy full of all these beautiful and ugly things. Okay, every single one of us, and we have to understand that's inside of us too. Living in shame is what creates and perpetuates this dark ugliness that we want to heal, and it just perpetuates it on the earth. The denial, the protecting. Shame protects shame, and when it's time to heal, like it's time to truly heal inside our gut. All right, what ties it all together? The power of attraction. Isn't that beautiful? It's a mirror. Because we're talking about moving to the next level, what is in the way? What is the point? Where are we going with this? What do we want? The universal Merkaba, again, is a sacred purpose, trusting in our gut, the power of attraction, like understanding that what blocks us is also blocking what's meant for us. Okay, it's being blocked from us. So it does serve you to explore within yourself if you're not feeling completely satisfied within your own spirit. It does absolutely serve you to explore deeper. If you want to experience satisfaction, it's not about anything worldly. Let every gesture show the world your blooming, fragrant heart. Allowing yourself to bloom, allowing others to bloom by focusing on yourself, by focusing on myself, okay? What we're doing is letting others focus on themselves, taking the pressure off of them to be what we need them to be, to fit into our big, bold vision, because this is about us. Then we can allow softly these new experiences that mirror us in ways that we want to be mirrored. We want to be able to allow in and appreciate. We can do this. We let this in when we release these, okay? Authentically and with compassion, when we feel suffering of any sort of even so subtle discomfort in our spirit, to acknowledge what it is so we can be curious about it, soften and release it. Thank you so much for being here. I'll see you next week for the full moon and a brand new self-care theme. Welcome to our self-care theme of the week, Be Real. And last week we were just talking about authenticity and compassion, how that is what helps us to release our blocks. So each theme is really nicely flowing into the next. So when we aren't quite ready for the messages right now, it's okay to kind of go back and work through the energies that help us to release the blocks. It's okay to go back and back until we hit that theme that we need right now, and then start working forward from there. So you can actually look that up. I'm in the process of making it more accessible, so you can search by energy, by theme, and So you can reveal these messages when is right for you rather than at a specific time of the year when they're actually being recorded. So let's start unlocking the theme for this week, Be Real, and let's see what the energy is that's helping us. Our Lady of Exalted Light. I give endlessly because the light is without end. My soul is all I need. And I enjoy the lantern here because at the beginning of this moon phase, we started with shine. That is the intention that we planted. And that is what we're developing. So to realize that the light is without end, the light is our soul. We are unlocking that ability to trust ourselves, our own spirit, our intuition, on purpose, that sacred purpose, to trust in it with confidence by releasing the doubts and the misunderstandings that were planted into us by others before we had an idea that we could create our own identity or that we could explore, discover, and kind of mold our own identity through experiences, through mistakes, through our choices. That is how we're meant to do it. And a lot of people want to protect us. It's their own worry and fear that projects that. And we don't react well when we lose control of things that make us feel comfortable. It's different for everybody based on the type of belief, why we're clinging on to it. But there's a lot of people when you question, even dare to say words that might question without meaning to. Like when you trigger a fragile person, they will snap on you in a quicker than you ever imagined. You'll see people turn on you when you start to question your own shame, your own beliefs, your own light and darkness. When you start to find the balance of that and you realize there's nothing to be afraid of, there are so many people, because you're going to feel truer to yourself, and you will just hit so many walls of resistance and doubt from people who are not willing to be that authentic with themselves. So important to trust your own flame, your own soul. Don't compromise that for someone else. If you need to have the experience and the experience turns out to be a mistake, learn from that. I think mistake is just kind of maybe what we see as a failure. We have to start to reframe that and understand that it's all just kind of a process. Everybody goes through all this, and there's no shame in riding the roller coaster and you kind of just hanging on for dear life. We don't really know where we're gonna end up. It's fucking terrifying half the time. It just is. It's exhausting. It's terrifying. And a lot of the time, even though most people don't say it, a lot of the time we're just sitting there hanging on. And if we are really, I gotta say smart, but if we are smart, we are sitting in those present moments to find the clarity, okay? The peaceful moments. We're creating that space for ourselves. I'm going to stop rambling and I'm going to get on to what is our intention and focus for this moon phase. Psychic protection. Around me now, a shield of gold protecting me strong and bold. Love this. Holy shit. We have the golden rays of light, these spirals of manifestation. And we're talking about the Midas touch, big, bold vision. We've had this idea of gold quite a bit. There's psychic debris. I don't remember that is. That's around here somewhere. We're letting go of certain things. But we have to trust our own mind. Like, don't be led astray just because you're exploring. You have to understand what feels right and what feels wrong. Don't necessarily just charge into everything that scares you. Examine it from your perspective and how it feels to you. Okay? Don't go down every rabbit hole, because your mind is gonna go to some ugly places. And I'm gonna tell you, you know this already. But this world holds a lot of ugliness that we really cannot bear. We can't bear all of it. Okay, we can only really help when we focus in on certain pieces, and we have to realize what our sacred purpose is in order to do that. There are so many dark places that we can go. We shouldn't ignore them. We have to acknowledge that they're real. We shouldn't cover up our eyes and avoid these things, but at the same time realizing that everyone is meant to play a different part, and we need to trust our own protection, our own boundaries of the mind, of all levels, okay? Don't just jump into things because you're in a moment of raw emotion. Be prepared for more learning, understanding, opportunities, and love. Just prepare yourself to slow down and kind of hold a thought and hold the thought to the light of truth, of the light of your soul, the light of your gut, the light of your intuition. You'll read things, examine things that you believe or for whatever reason, and hold it within your spirit. Anything, I don't care what it is, you're allowed to examine anything. All your beliefs, all my beliefs, my beliefs aren't meant for you, your beliefs aren't necessarily meant for me, but we shouldn't be afraid of them. We shouldn't be afraid of someone else's perspective, because if we're afraid of it, that means our belief system is fragile. That's not good. It's not built on a strong foundation if it's fragile. So if you're afraid to examine your own beliefs, oh fucking boy, right? That's a terrifying position, I think, to be in, more than any other. Because when you live true to yourself, you're gonna follow the path of truth. When you live true to someone else, you're going to betray yourself so many times you don't recognize who you are. Satisfying choices. Love, of course. Aphrodite, I call to thee to bring a true love here to me. I want to say we're clearing, okay? As we're moving through, we've been clearing, I want to say discomfort, suffering, bitterness, pettiness. There's things within our spirit, resentment, things that we've been holding on to that have been blocking us from a purer version of what we truly want. We may have all these achievements, we may have all these things, we may have status or money or whatever, but what's the satisfaction of your soul, and what is the difference? Okay? For a while, the material things will satisfy, right? We're talking about materialism. Where do we find the true satisfaction though? And it's different. It's just such a balance for every person, but we can't ever think that it's in purely the material. It's there's in security, in a certain amount of safety, in rest. There's all these different ways to experience it. But it's really important to notice that we have to sit with the discomfort before we can understand what comfort feels like and why. Comfort and control. Sometimes we think that comfort is manipulation, being able to manipulate and control circumstances. We don't really understand what those things are until we start to work through our own personal beliefs and shame. It starts to clarify all those things, not even why we believe what we believe, but why do we act the way we act? Why do we make the choices that we do in self-sabotage? And we all do it. Everybody does it. But if we start to examine why, it clears those things when it's time to clear them. As you must serve everything you create, it's a good idea to do so with love and integrity. Again, purifying. That's what we're doing. The storm, the discomfort is purifying this experience so we can really understand what the different types of love feel like. Truer versions of those things. Lessons of self-awareness. Destiny. All that I shall need to know as I walk shall now be shown. we can understand more clearly. We can let these things be illuminated from within our spirit, and trust that we are on the path of our own destiny. Okay, release the psychic debris. We're slowing down and trusting that this, that what we want belongs to us. I doubt it too all the time. Continue to make love real through all you create. You have the Midas touch again with the gold. We have to purify love and things with love and integrity through a veil of love and integrity for others, for ourselves. We have to just, it never stops. We just continue to work through them, and I break down our beliefs, but to filter them through love and satisfaction, different levels all the time. And we're not meant to all be at the same place. We're just meant to all be trusting ourselves, and stop worrying about what others are doing, and if they did something different, would it make me more comfortable? It's about what sits well in your spirit, and trusting it's enough. Trusting yourself on a level over and over and over, new levels, deeper levels. Advice and resources. Grace, blessing, come to me to set me free. Don't be afraid of the biggest unknown in your life, your potential. It's a gift you must unwrap every day. I'm gonna stop talking because I already said enough on that. Now we're going to move on to action steps. Joy. As I do will, so mote it be. Let joy and light radiate from me. Again, we started this month with the intention to shine. This is a Leo season. Okay, and we're illuminating this Aquarius moon with Leo energy, and because those are polar opposites. So even in that opposite energy, we have that potential to illuminate by holding the polarities. By looking at the dark, we illuminate the brightest light. We let that shine. Okay, we set our intentions in the dark. We're not afraid to sit there with ourselves, and then everything can come into focus when it's supposed to. Dive into your life, allowing your beautiful words and actions to become inspirational. When you lead with joy, okay, that's the satisfaction of the soul. I like the word satisfaction the most. That's the word that feels most true to me on all levels. That's where we function from a different place. Okay, we're opening up for hope. We open up that channel of potential that we've been afraid of. We're releasing the blocks that we are shutting ourselves down and away from the things that we really want, or the person that we really are. And we know we are. We know we're doing that. We just don't understand. Like, a lot of times there's self-sabotaging actions come from choices, come from beliefs that are so deep down within us that we don't even understand where they come from anymore. And that's why it's so important to sit with ourselves and to not be afraid of those. We're not all meant for each other, okay? But there are people, there are circumstances, there are experiences in this world that will understand you at your core when you are ready to open yourself up to that. Okay? It doesn't mean that you and I are going to be best friends. What it means is you will open yourself up to connections, experiences, love that gets you and accepts you at that level, so you don't have to hide it anymore. Not everybody will. There are so many people that will make you doubt yourself. They will want to make you doubt yourself. That's their goal. Their goal is to keep you in line, to make themselves more comfortable. They probably don't realize they're doing that either. Just like you don't realize why you're doing what you're doing. Just like I mean, it's all the same for all of us. It's me too. We're all doing this, okay? We're self-sabotaging until we look at the things that we don't want to look at. When we can't release them lightly, move on, we have to look at them. Now, this is what ties it all together. Thank you so much for being here for the full moon and Be Real self-care theme. Magical powers. I weave and clear, I cast and know magic secrets to me now show. What's so beautiful to me about what's going on up here is that what ties it all together again and again and again is universal, the law of attraction, magical powers. It's just building sacred purpose. You have the answer. It's the power of attraction. It's about trusting you, your own intuition, your own gut, your own power, your own passion. It starts from wanting to shine, realizing what is blocking us from that, and then choosing to go inward into the darkness until we find that smoldering internal light. And then we start to tend that flame. We trust that within us, and that is the flame that guides us on our journey forward. Our final message for the full moon: do you feel free, and what does it mean to you? Say it. I am free. I am free. I am free. Thank you so much for being here once again, and I will see you next week for the final message of the month and the last quarter moon, a brand new self-care theme as well. Welcome to the last quarter moon and our self-care theme, Clear Your Mind. This is our final phase of this moon cycle. So we are on to a whole different moon cycle, planting new intentions next week. But right now we are talking about the intention we set at the beginning of the month, which was to shine. And we have been working our way through that so we can rise to a new level. We are now going to clear our minds and just trust our intuition. Our Lady of Guadalupe, Empress of Protection. I am safe and divinely protected. I am held in love at all times. So how are we able to let go of the anxiety in our minds? Is to trust that we are safe. We're not always safe, and that's important to acknowledge, but when we are able to make the choices to get to a place that is safe, then we can start to feel that security, that relief in our spirit, and then we are able to start to release those anxieties. But we have to trust that anxiety that we're holding isn't a likely reality. A lot of times we're holding these things in our nervous system. So that's why we spend so much time meditating, but not to take us away from our bodies, but to be more present, to be very, very actively here right now, to be here with our hands, okay? That's what ritual can do for you, spending this 15 or 20 minutes listening, unlocking, using your own hands, writing, channeling your mind into a different place where you can feel something different, even if you don't know what it is, even if you don't know why. It starts to create that curiosity that we talked about. Curiosity that starts to unlock the spirit, being curious instead of avoiding or numbing certain things that make us uncomfortable. Now we are going to talk about our intention and focus for this moon phase. What am I looking for outside myself that is already within me? I love that so much because that it just aligns with every message that we've had throughout the month, is to trust ourselves, our intuition, to know that nobody knows us better than we know ourselves, that our beliefs are not something to be afraid of, that we should be able to look at them, examine them inside and out, and come back to the same conclusions. That's what our beliefs should be. So if you are that confident in your beliefs, then go dig through them, and you're going to obviously come back to the same conclusion you started at, right? What's there to be afraid of? You belong to life. With love and reverence, you will find the peace and harmony of this. Being in pure presence within your body, your hands, your meditation is a place of creativity or a place of joy. Start somewhere that is easy to access and appreciate, and then expand from there. And then you build moment by moment, 1 second, like literally, like just here in that moment. You know what it is, like you're looking into someone's eyes, or you're watching, your child. You're doing something that you just want to be there. It's okay to start there in those moments that seem easier, even if you can't be fully present, even if you feel that something's blocking you from the joy of that moment. That's perfect. Exactly. Notice that and acknowledge it and realize there is something blocking me from the joy of this moment. I need to get fucking curious about this because it's controlling my life. It's controlling my perspective. It is stealing my capacity for joy. Get pissed about it. Pissed is better than numb. Just channel your anger in the right places. Are you looking for more confidence, guidance, peace, wisdom, love, or something else? When we search outside ourselves, we can become overwhelmed, frustrated, and never quite feel good enough. It's time to go inward to find everything you seek. All the answers you need lie within you. And important to trust that feeling peace and harmony, bliss, whatever the word, I can't say what the word is to you. There's a word or a feeling or whatever that only you can really describe. You have to trust that you're safe. Okay, look at psychic protection. You're safe to open up to new things. You're safe to explore. You have to trust that you can protect yourself, that nothing can deceive you. That's the fear, is it not? That you're being deceived? Is it not? Like that something is deceiving you? Well, don't deceive yourself. And by not looking, something is deceiving you. You need to be able to look. You should be able to be confident in your own beliefs from your own spirit, from your own experience. It shouldn't be from somebody else's, telling you what to believe. What's wrong with that? So, satisfying choices. What am I grateful for right now? The most wonderful gift you can give is being you, your beautiful, true self. So what is there within you? Talking about love. What's within you that needs to be acknowledged? What's within you that you're grateful for? What are your gifts? What have you been through? Not even what you've been through, but like, how far have you come as a person? Because we all started somewhere and we all are somewhere else now. What have you walked through? You have walked through difficult things. You have. It's not that we should sit here and champion having to survive over and over, but you have overcome extraordinary things. And don't lose sight of that because something doesn't feel exactly where we want it to be right now. Adopt an abundance mindset. Gratitude is the antidote to all our problems. It is impossible to be fearful and grateful at the same time. Gratitude improves our health, opens our heart, and changes our state. Gratitude, I don't know why, but I prefer the word appreciate. Not that, you can't use that they're not, they could be interchangeable. For me, it's a different feeling. Grateful to me almost feels external at times, like it's circumstantial. Appreciation is just like almost a pure, that might not feel that way for you, but it just, the way that those words strike me a little bit different. Pure appreciation for the moment, pure gratitude, whatever works for you. Use the language that sits right with you though. Don't change the way that you communicate for other people to make them more comfortable. Communicate, unless it's disrespectful. I mean, I'm not talking about the spirit of what you're communicating. I'm talking about the actual like words. Use the words that feel right. Don't use words that make you feel uncomfortable, because that can alter the energy of what you're putting into it. I don't know if that makes sense or not. But anyway, now on to lessons of self-awareness. Am I willing? Am I willing to let myself trust? You know, all that I shall need to know as I walk shall now be shown. We're having to trust as we take each step. Only you can lift others above fear with creativity, love, and a lightness of being. Or I'm sorry, you can only lift others. We had this before. We can't lift others out of fear with fear. We only create more. We create hysteria. We all become fearful. And that's why it's important to acknowledge what is when we feel a sense of something blocking us in our gut. There are so many people that are going to shut you down when you try to be honest about this stuff. And please don't think that you can share this with everybody, because you can't. There are certain people with a special understanding, and there are certain situations, experiences, we talked about this, that when that power of attraction opens up, when we get authentic with our own spirit, and that's when we find those relationships that we can really share. Not everybody is meant to hear our deepest, darkest secrets, but we will find places where we are supposed to be, and we have to know that each time we take a step, that we can trust that step. Especially as we go inward, we get clear on why we make each step. You are on the edge of something great. Can you feel it? This is your destiny. It is heaven sent, okay? Your sacred purpose. There's risk, uncertainty, imperfections ahead. Failure is certain, and vulnerability is a requirement. You must be brave and trust yourself more than ever before. You will reach the dream, but you must stretch yourself to a whole new level of belief and willingness in order to move forward with courage. And that's incredible for what we are just like closing up at, like, for this month. Now, the intentions that we set are not going to be fully developed. Now, the intentions that we set are not going to be fully developed by this point, okay? This is just like the seedling that's just starting to open up. As we're moving through this, like, we're getting closer, that intention we planted to shine, that is opening up to us. We're actually able to access that now. We're starting to be able to unlock that. Courage comes from that curiosity, that creative center. Those are all these sacral words that the energy center of creativity, or the energy centers of creativity. There are more than one, but they are lighting up. We're learning to kind of burn away with the debris, okay? And so we can have this beautiful, pure flame that comes from our own soul. It's what we're trusting. We have to trust that we are safe. At this point, we have to, in order to clear our mind completely and really relax into these moments of pure appreciation, pure presence, and clear our minds in those moments, you have to trust that we're safe. We can't be if we're in unsafe circumstances, we're probably dissociating, and it's probably not really, it's not going to be, it might be necessary like for survival, but it's not going to be what is healing, okay? Because in those moments, we're going to want to be outside of our body. when we don't feel safe. We're not going to want to be there in that moment, and maybe for very rightful reasons. So get to where you can make choices to make yourself safe. And then you can clear your mind and start to find this peace within your spirit. It's all part of a path. Okay, there's cycles and patterns, but they're part of a path that you're on. It doesn't end. So don't think that just because you're not where you want to be right now that you can't be there. It's just one step. For every single one of us, it's one step, one step, one step. And some of them feel harder than others, okay? Advice and resources. Do I believe I'm worthy? Breathe deeper, extend your breath, and listen to your heart. Create life from there. Golden rays of light, spirals of manifestation. Where are we creating from? We've talked about this several times this month, was about we can have achievement, status, goals, wealth, but where does it come from? We probably have to learn that those things aren't as satisfying as we'd like them to be, and then to make a change, to divert paths and listen to something more satisfying, which is your heart, your spirit, your gut. The deeper you get to know yourself, the more that you're going to want to create your life from a different place. The foundation will matter to you. You are worthy, you are deserving, you are loved. Start seeing the divine beauty within you and go out and claim the life you have dreamt up. Your crown has been bought and paid for. Put it on your head and wear it. Maya Angelou. I love that. All right, action steps. Name all the things you love. Choose to see creative energy in everything, no matter what, and you will recognize opportunity. So in the discomfort, create something from the discomfort that shifts the energy. So that's movement, that's channeling energy into ritual or prayer. That is something creative that you're doing with your body. Hands, body, mind, like you're creating something and you're really present in the moment. That's the kind of thing that shifts the energy into something new, so we can clarify and understand what love really is. Name all the things you love, and are you one of them? I give myself all the love and attention I need. I think there's a sense of worthiness that we're talking about, because often we are looking at status, achievements, all these different things that we want to see, we want to experience, we want to do, we want to have. But really at our core, there's not much that we can really experience that doesn't move away from us, that doesn't change. And we change, but we are the only perspective that we have now or will ever have in this form. Okay? So in this life, that's in this human body, we are the only perspective we will ever have. We will never be another person. We will never see life from their scope. All we can do is choose our experience based on what we know, how well we know ourselves, and what we believe we deserve. So understanding that where we create from, the opportunity, it comes from expectation. The more that we can channel satisfaction, the more we can be present, we can understand what appreciation is for the pure presence of life, pure presence of the moment. A lot of times that is the same as meditation or creating, dancing, playing, laughing. You're enjoying the finest moments in life, moments that you want to be there. And then saying, I deserve more of it. I deserve more of it, because life external to us will drag us through the coals. Okay, it's not going to let up. We have to choose to exit certain experiences and circumstances and enter different ones. We have to free up space, time, energy for things that make us feel good and right and real. Choose to do that for you, and fuck anybody who tells you to doubt that intuition. Try it. Learn what's self-destructive for you might be different for somebody else. But the only way you can ever live your life is by your own control. That's just the only way you can have a satisfying life, is to make your own choices. What ties it all together? From whom can I release my judgment right now? Full circle for the month. We have been talking about releasing what does not serve us when we began. And who is setting us off in certain ways? Like if we are unable to find this clarity yet, what is it that's mirroring us? Okay, there's something in our spirit that we're not able to let go of. Okay, something deep inside of us that's mirroring here, that's triggering this. We don't know why. But it would serve each one of us well to notice what those things are and to find the appropriate places to express and work with those energies, to look at them, so they don't lead us through life from a frame of bitterness, reacting with pettiness and bitterness to things that we wish that we had, because that's not where we want to create our life from. Meet with a dear friend, drink some tea, and talk about happy things. Enjoy each other. So, interesting thing. From whom can I release my judgment? Meet with a dear friend. Notice how those relationships and energies feel different and what you want near you. If there's things that you need to heal with particular people and draw them closer, or if there's things that you need to recognize that you need to make space for the things that the relationships that make you feel nice. Judgment closes our heart from truth and separates us from love. It binds us to fear and holds us in shame. On whom are we placing judgment right now? Is it someone in your life? Is it yourself? Release the shackles, drop the expectations, and be grateful for what is. Radical, pure appreciation for this moment we're in, moving our hands, releasing the pain, moving through it. It's like you're birthing new life. When you're in labor, you move through it and you move with it in order to shift things in a new direction, in a beautiful new direction, the direction that literally creates life. So use your intuition to move through life as you want to create it. Be the courageous and curious curator of the beautiful life that you have in your own hands. Let go and set down all of those things that are too heavy to carry anymore. Let's do it together. Thank you so much for being here. I will see you next week for the beginning of a brand new moon phase.